what the hell is going on? Like, I've got such a problem with cancel culture. I'm sure most people do. I just cannot tolerate the concept of it because, like we've talked about earlier, everyone's going to say something stupid. Everyone's going to, whether they're in the public eye or not, you're going to thoughtlessly say something because you didn't sleep enough the night before or because you didn't know enough about a subject, which is fine. We're not meant to know everything about every subject in the world. So we're going to make mistakes, then learn and probably not do it again, or maybe, you know, approach things in a different way. But to sort of cancel someone out, and I'm sure I've experienced it, I'm sure you have, not to the point where like I cease to exist, that I'm not working anymore, but I've certainly had it, and with friends, and it is deeply painful. And you know, what is that judgment about? It's like judgment has been inflated so hugely, and it's always, you know, been around forever, since man and woman were walking about working out who they should hang out with and what tribe they should be in. But it's just gone bananas.
It really has.
So bananas. And, you know, is that because, I don't know, I'm trying to work it out as I'm talking to you, but I guess a lot of people judge themselves so much that they're just projecting it onto other people. They're not forgiving themselves of their past. So therefore, it's way easier to go, I blame you're way worse than I am. It's just that on a giant level, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of from two things. I think it's one that we're all getting our information from so many different sources now. So, for example, my dad probably is reading a newspaper that I'm not reading, and he's not looking at Twitter. And, you know, we're coming at things maybe from different angles. So when we have a conversation, it could get quite heated because it's like, well, I've got my information from this place and you've got yours from that place and we disagree. And that's fine. But then also I think through the pandemic, it got worse because we were also isolated and therefore we're all in our own heads more. I had a friend kind of get quite annoyed with me about something I didn't do, something I didn't say. But I was like, I didn't know you wanted me to say that until you just said that. Like, are we all meant to be mind reading at this point? So I think that is kind of wild. And I also think cancel culture is like this umbrella term for so many things. Like Harvey Weinstein going to jail, cancelled. Great. He did something really bad and his career was cancelled. That isn't a new thing. That's been going on for a long time, someone being held to account. But then we've got, you know, like a 15-year-old on Twitter saying like a joke and then not being allowed to go to a college that they applied for. Is that really kind of, do we want to cancel like a child before they can rectify? So I think it's really nuanced and really complicated. And obviously my book is not even that long. I'm talking about really massive themes in this book. But really for me, I never really write books to be like, here's what I think about the world and it's all so correct. It's not that at all. It's just like poking the fire a bit and being like, can we just talk about this stuff, please? And can we say things that we mean in a kind way? And not be scared to say what we really think.
I completely agree. Because also, say we go back to that 15-year-old who didn't get to go to the college they wanted because they said a joke online. Say they'd said that joke in a group of friends 20 years ago. You know, a couple of people in the group might have thought, oh, I didn't really like the flavour of that joke or whatever. But then it's sort of forgotten. But because things are in black and white and we're seeing them and they have this sort of existence post the moment, that's the scary bit, you know, that these things sort of live on or they can spiral out of control, they can spread. It just feels scary. So, you know, even if I look at my own relationship with social media, I know that even though I'm older, obviously, than I was 10 years ago, I'm way more apprehensive about posting certain things today than I was 10 years ago, because I think things are getting worse in terms of outside judgment and people making assumptions about you or making whole stories up about what your general opinion of the world is because you said one thing, which again is so unhelpful. I know, you know, Russell Brand's done a really good job of talking about this in such detail about how, you know, you can have one opinion or say one thing and all of a sudden everyone says you're right or you're left or whatever, and it's like, wait, we're allowed to have opinions within certain structures or not aligned to any of it and just have thoughts and feelings. But I think it is scary because it is getting worse, and I do sometimes worry. I don't want to upset anyone, I don't want to offend anyone, but I take it to the nth degree where it's like actually wild that I sometimes worry, what if I post a picture of myself and a comment saying that I'm feeling really good and happy and there are people out there that don't? But this is the nature of the world. There'll be days where I feel like shit and other people feel great. But we're sort of pointing the finger at everyone constantly. You can't do this because I don't feel like that, or you haven't thought about my situation. It's impossible for us to have that grand scope of the whole world and every human on it. But we're being expected to. It's bananas.
It is bananas, because really, if you wrote a tweet, it could be taken 7 billion different ways.
Yep.
Like, however many people are in this world. It could be dissected in countless ways. And I think context is so important, like who you are in the context of what you're saying. We can't keep taking people out of context. It's just so damaging. And also the fact that, you know, we are growing all the time. I love this Adam Grant quote, which is like, if you don't look back at your past self and cringe, you haven't grown. Like,
that gives me instant relief.
He says it's a great thing. I love looking back at my past work and cringing, because I'm just so proud that I've moved on. And I'm really worried that we think that everyone is in this like permanent state of like being perfect. And I don't know, I am optimistic though. I think we're in a really weird time, and I think things are going to change.